Boom shakalaka, what is up guys? Randall here from Crypto Love, and today I'm going to show you how to read a white paper. Right? I know, but we all have to do it because we all want to make money in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. It's very helpful to know how to read a white paper, and so that's what I'm going to show you to do today. Now before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone subscribing. Thank you to everyone mashing on that like button. And guys, if you want to find out how to win a free Ledger Nano S, stay tuned. Now, to begin with, taking a look, this is the original white paper, okay? And if you haven't read it, go read it. I mean, you can't know what to expect in a white paper without knowing what's come before. So, Bitcoin, original white paper, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Look at how clear and concise that is. Tells you what to do in one line. You don't need to read the rest of the white paper, but you should anyways, because it'll show you what's to come up next. And so, I mean, they kind of look like technical research documents from school and whatever. And I'm not a big fan of school, but I am a big fan of white papers because there's a lot of information in there, a lot of good things that you can find out in there that you won't find on the website or the Twitter or the Reddit or the Bitcoin forums or whatever else. You may just find it in here. And also, guys, I can't tell you how much I've actually learned from reading white papers. Like stuff that I've learned that actually applies in other areas of my life outside of just Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But this stuff is really cool. So that's why you need to read it. Now, how do you read it? You just sit down and freaking read. I know it's going to put you to sleep. Actually, I've got some pointers. Okay? It's helpful. Maybe you'll find them helpful in terms of how to go ahead and read them. So, what I do, just to begin with, we'll take a look at the Bitcoin white paper just to begin with. All right? So, first thing I do, scan through it. All right, but you're saying, why? Why don't you just read from top to bottom, left to right, whatever? Because if you scan through it, it like implants it a little bit in your brain first, and then when you're reading through it, your subconscious is kind of at work all the time. I know it sounds weird for a lot of you. I know I'm kind of woo-woo and everything once in a while, but this stuff actually works. Like I've read speed reading courses. I read all the freaking time, and actually scanning through it first and then going through it again and again and again. The more times you go through it, the better you understand it, and it's because all this stuff is working behind the scenes. It's not actually what you think it is. So first thing I'll do is I'll scan through it. So, just go through, try and get an idea how long it is, what the sections are. I mean, the names of the sections like timestamp server, proof of work, network, incentive, reclaiming disk space, all these things are important, all right? And there's a reason why they're subject titles or they're section titles. So scanning through there and seeing how big it is, seeing how much mathematics and everything, because some white papers have a lot more technical details, some don't have as many technical details. So I'll be honest, in reading a lot of the technical details, a lot of it's over my head. I'm not a super genius. I know. It's hard to believe. I'm not a super genius. Just an ordinary mere mortal. But do the work, all right? And then you can see the references and everything. So that's a good white paper. Now, what can you do next? Well, if you want to kind of speed it up, read the title, read the abstract, because that's supposed to be like a summary of what's going on, and then, if you want, skip down to the bottom, read the conclusion, all right? Because that should, again, summarize it, so that way you have a good idea in your mind as to what's going on. Again, and this is your second time through it. You've already been through the white paper twice. What did it do? It took you like 5 minutes, okay? Now is when you go through and you actually sit down and read the thing, all right? So you go through, you read the whole thing. Your goal is not comprehending every little bit. Your goal is to get a good idea about what the white paper is saying, and I'm going to go into what you should look for in a white paper in a second, but the goal of reading it through is just to get a good grasp of what they're doing, why they're doing, how they're doing it, all that stuff. So you go through this one, and honestly, a lot of the times, like, if they have pictures that I can't understand, or if they have complex mathematical equations like down here that I can't understand, you know what? I skip it. Maybe I'll come back to the pictures because the pictures are helpful to understand stuff. But the complex math, I don't worry about figuring this out. I realize I have no idea. That's not for me, okay? It may not be for you. Or it could be for you. But all that stuff is good. And then, so now I'm going to show you what specifically to look for in a white paper that'll kind of help you figure it out. But again, if you haven't read the Bitcoin white paper, go read this one, bitcoin.org. Don't go to bitcoin.com because Roger Ver is just going to try and sell you some pizzazz that Bcash is Bitcoin. I don't know what he's going to do. But anyways, a white paper. It has to answer a few questions. Number one, what is the project? So the goal of the white paper should be to explain what they're doing. What is it? Who is it? How are they doing it? All that stuff. Then, what problem does it solve? Because really, if it's not solving a problem, why does it need to be a cryptocurrency? Why does it need to be a token? Why does it need to do anything? If they're just tokenizing it for the sake of tokenizing it, why bother, right? So you need to figure out what problem does it solve and answer that. And then, how are they going to accomplish it? That's very important. So if we go take a look at the Bitcoin white paper. So first thing, what is the project? A peer-to-peer electronic cash system. What problem does it solve? It solves the issues with the banks because they all suck. And then how are they going to accomplish it? Talks all about the blockchain, everything there. So you can figure out all of that stuff, how it all works. So that answers the 3 questions for you right there. Then in the white paper, technical stuff. Now some white papers have a lot of technical stuff. Some white papers have no technical stuff. You have to, the more white papers you read, the more you'll learn if they actually need the technical mumbo jumbo. And some even have like a technical and a non-technical white paper. So the technical one, a lot of people want to know the ins and outs of everything, how it's going to work, everything. Some people don't. So figure out where you are. And then in the white paper, other things that it can have, it won't always have, but sometimes it can have, and these can be helpful to look at. First thing, team and advisors. We know that good cryptos, good ICOs have good teams, strong advisors. So it's helpful to look into them to find out information about them. That doesn't have to be in the white paper. If you saw it wasn't really in the Bitcoin white paper, they did have Satoshi named up top, but that's it. All right. Second, a roadmap, how they're going to accomplish what they're going to accomplish, and also milestones they've already reached. So in Bitcoin's case, this was the first one. They didn't have that in that white paper. But in other projects, how they're doing it, how they're moving forward, where they've come from, where they're going, all those things are really important. And then for ICOs, one thing that they'll usually have is token distribution. So how are they sharing the tokens in the ecosystem? Are they holding half of them? Are they going to hold 99% of them? I hope not, no. Usually like less than 20% of them. But how are they going to distribute them? What's the token sale look like? How long are they going to be holding them? Everything. So you can find information all about that in there. And then lastly, one thing that can be very useful is finding partnerships and investors. So often, sometimes, if you scroll down to the bottom of the white paper, down there, it'll have partnerships and investors. And that's a great way, number one, to find out who's supporting them and what they have in the works. But number two, it's a great way to find out other potential opportunities. Like if you find that counsel is backing this one and that one and that one, wouldn't you want to find out, and they're all really good ICOs, wouldn't you want to find out what else counsel is backing because they probably pick out good ICOs? So that's kind of like a sneak preview of how to find really good things. So all that stuff you can find in the white paper, and you should go and find it in the white paper. Now, just real quickly to give you my take on white papers, because I read a lot of white papers, and you just need to do it. It's just like, you shouldn't put your money anywhere that you don't understand. So if you're just throwing your money around, that is very risky. Do your research. You can then pick out the good projects very easily because you can start to see patterns. And you start seeing patterns by seeing the good and the bad often enough. That's how you see patterns. So, my take. Number one, clearly defines the project. Like, if you're reading the white paper and you're trying to figure out what the hell these people are saying, that's not a good white paper and probably not a good project, because if they can't even write a little paper about the project, how are they going to how are they going to clearly define the project and to guide it if they can't even explain it? All right. Second, a necessary project. So there's right now, everything is tokenizing on the face of the planet. Everything's tokenizing. Does it need to? Probably not. So is this solving a valid problem? Do they have a good chance of accomplishing it? Is it something where there's not too much competition already? All those things. So is it a necessary project? And then third, it isn't a sales pitch. So like, I'm not sure if it's still available out there. I'm not even sure if it did have one. But basically like the BitConnect website, all they did was rehash what Bitcoin is and then try and sell you on it, about 1% return. So basically, it's not a sales pitch. This is basically to give you more information about it so you can make a good decision on your own. Now, another example of a good white paper. Now, I know I poo-poo all over Ethereum all the time, but they did do a good job of making a white paper. It's very thorough, very, very thorough. So if we just take a look at the contents, all right, going through this tells you about what is Ethereum, what are the virtual machines, why they're a different blockchain than Bitcoin. So all these things, answering those initial questions that we had. Then it gives you the basics about Ethereum, and it gives you the milestones and the roadmap, all things that we were looking for before. So again, that's great. Then it tells you kind of a history so you can learn some more, where you can find out more information in the community, and it just keeps on going. Then it gets into all the technical stuff, all right? So for those people who want it, you can find out all about that. And then it just basically gives you more and more information. And just look at the amount of information on here. All right, you can pretty much find anything you want in this white paper, and they constantly update it, which is good. But that just gives you so much information about it. So absolutely much information. Now, the other thing that I wanted you to do that's going to help you find out a lot more about white papers, help you become a lot better at reading white papers, is to go to CoinMarketCap and pick out your favorite cryptos in like the top 20. Because if they're up there, they've probably done some good stuff to get up there. They probably have a decent white paper. So pick out your, a handful of your top favorite cryptos in the top 20 or top 50, whatever it is, and read those white papers. Because by reading them, you're going to be able to see exactly what they do. And really, all it is finding patterns. So if you know this is the white paper of a good crypto, this is the white paper of a bad crypto, you just want to find more white papers of good cryptos. And then simple as can be. Simple as can be. So guys, I hope that gave you some more information about how to read a white paper. I know nobody likes to read white papers, but it's super important. If you think I know anything about cryptos, it's probably only because I do a lot of research, read a lot of white papers. So I want to bring that to you guys. Now, for those of you who just wanted to win that free Ledger Nano S, go to crypto-up.com/training. You can enter to win up top there where it says enter to win a free Ledger Nano S cold storage device. And also, guys, if you want some more information, like if you're just getting into Bitcoin, we have a free Bitcoin starter kit and also some other paid courses if you want that. Lastly, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, where we bring you content every day about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, trying to make you the wealthiest individuals in the world, all right? Not a financial advisor, obviously, okay? So thanks again for watching. I'll catch you next time, all right? Peace!